The western desert was a vast expanse of desolation, where the shimmering sands stretched out beneath the starlit sky like an endless sea. But it wasn't the arid landscape that frightened travelers who ventured into the heart of this barren land, it was the stories of the phantom driver who roamed the lonely highways at night. The desert night lay draped in a shroud of darkness, its vast expanse seemingly untouched by the passage of time. A lone figure stood by the side of a desolate highway, a hitchhiker stranded in the desolation. Her car had succumbed to a mechanical failure, leaving her marooned in this eerie wilderness. Tales of a phantom driver that prowled these barren roads had always been whispered around campfires, dismissed as the stuff of nightmares. Yet, on this fateful night, those tales took on a sinister edge as the hitchhiker's heart raced with apprehension. A distant rumble echoed through the stillness, and headlights pierced through the black curtain of night. A vehicle appeared on the horizon, headlights flickering like the distant glint of a predator's eyes. Hope surged within the hitchhiker as he raised her thumb, signaling for help. The car slowed to a stop with a screech of tires, and she hurried to the passenger side, heart pounding. Through the window, she saw the driver, a shadowy figure obscured by darkness. An eerie chill swept through the air, raising the hairs on her arms. The driver's voice was distant, their words carrying a haunting echo. Grateful for the chance at rescue, the hitchhiker climbed into the back seat, the leather cool beneath her touch. The interior of the car was unsettlingly pristine, devoid of any signs of life or personal belongings. A palpable tension hung in the air, like the silence. The car's engine roared to life, and they set off down the desolate highway. The driver remained silent, with eyes fixed ahead as if lost in their own thoughts. An attempt at conversation was met with eerie silence, and a shiver crept down the hitchhiker's spine. Outside, the desert landscape seemed to shift and change, taking on distorted forms in the moonlight. Fear gnawed at the hitchhiker's resolve as the car suddenly veered off the main road, onto an obscure path that snaked through the desert. Panic surged, and the hitchhiker demanded an explanation. A low, haunting chuckle was the driver's only response, sending a wave of dread through the hitchhiker. The path grew narrower, the surroundings more foreboding with each passing mile. The air grew colder, and an inexplicable sense of foreboding settled over them. Finally, the car came to a stop in the heart of the desert, encircled by towering rock formations that loomed like ancient sentinels. The driver turned, its features revealed in the dim interior light. Hollow eyes met theirs, devoid of humanity. In a voice that seemed to reverberate from beyond the grave, the driver confessed its true nature, a vengeful spirit bound to this desolate stretch of road. It spoke of a tragic accident that had stolen their life on this very path, and now they sought revenge, an insatiable hunger for blood. Terror gripped the hitchhiker as the chilling truth dawned, that she was destined to be the sacrifice, an offering to quench the spirit's thirst for vengeance. The driver's laughter echoed through the air, a haunting symphony of malevolence. Desperation surged as she fought to escape, her fingers scrabbling, reaching for the door. But it was as if unseen hands held her captive. The driver's laughter intensified, melding with her own screams, a cacophony of terror that painted the desert night. So desperate to escape, the hitchhiker flung herself against the door, wrenching it open and tumbling out onto the unforgiving desert ground. Pain seared through her body, but adrenaline propelled her to her feet as she stumbled into the wilderness. Behind her, the driver's laughter turned into furious cries, a symphony of rage that reverberated through the night. Her footsteps echoed through the darkness as they sprinted through the desert, the sound of pursuit growing louder. Exhaustion finally forced her to a halt, her breath was ragged as she collapsed to her knees. In the distance, the phantom driver's car screeched to a stop, its headlights blinding in the darkness. The driver emerged, its eyes gleaming with malice. With a blood-curdling scream, the hitchhiker turned to flee, but the driver was upon her in an instant. A glint of steel caught the moonlight, a knife gleaming with pure evil. The hitchhiker's final moments were a frenzied struggle, the desert night bearing witness to a brutal and bloody demise. As the first rays of dawn painted the horizon, the phantom driver's laughter mingled with the hitchhiker's dying cries, a chilling requiem that echoed through the desert wilderness. And as the sun rose, casting its golden light over the desolation, the phantom driver vanished into the shadows, leaving behind only the haunting memory of a terrifying encounter on the lonely desert highway. In the western desert, where the night holds secrets darker than the shadows themselves, the legend of the phantom driver lives on, a chilling reminder that some roads are best left untraveled, especially when the sun sets and the desert's silence is broken only by the echoes of a blood-curdling laugh.